boom. It would be, I think it would be a great idea if they don't give a date for the Cardi B album.
Just drop it.
And just drop.
With that.
I'm not mad at that.
No single, no official setup and all this other.
She doesn't need all of that.
Boom. Rap Life Review, we are back. Nadeska Low, I am Ebro. We got new music, we got freestyles, we got people retiring their names, we got new judges, we got joint albums, and we got a new situation with Cardi B.
What a rundown.
That was
pretty good.
Fire.
Right.
Was it compelling? Did you feel like,
oh
yeah, I felt like I wasn't even.
I'm locked in now.
Yeah, I felt like I was watching the show.
I want to pay off the listeners who leave comments.
Are we going there first?
Yeah, that's why I said I want to pay it off. I was going to say, I want to get to that early. I want to pay it off early. People are saying they love the fact that we acknowledge his greatness, right? Even though we weren't really big fans of the album. And then there was people who wanted us to listen to the album in reverse because since it's a concept album, you gotta they're like, yo, it's a concept album. If you listen to it backwards, it's Shady killing Marshall. But if you listen to it from the beginning, it's Marshall killing Shady.
Now, is that with every concept album, or were we supposed to know that ahead of time?
Didn't Kendrick do that on Damn?
He's done that with, at least with songs, but I don't necessarily listen to every concept album backwards.
No, I think that's them sharing. Eminem fans sharing. I think they're just sharing. So anyway, I want to shout out to all the Eminem fans out there because we also saw fans angry at us in the comments.
But they missed the whole point of the M album. It's front to back to front.
That was the most consensus that I'm seeing.
But that we missed it. But how were we supposed to know that was the point? I'm saying not every concept album that drops you're necessarily supposed to listen to.
Well, you're here on Rap Life Review, so if you fall short of the commentary of one of the biggest artists in hip hop ever, then you failed.
Right.
We failed.
So
you're right.
That's okay. I'll be accountable.
Sorry, we failed y'all.
Yeah, sorry.
But I, song for song, while that's a dope concept.
If that's true, that's amazing.
Listen, whether it's true or not true, what I really wanted to say was still song for song, the musicality has to deliver for me to like it. I could love the concept. There's rappers out there, I love you lyrically. You pick terrible music. And I'm not saying that's Eminem, I'm just saying in general, in the history of us loving rappers and loving hip hop, you could love somebody and be like, yo, they're fire lyrically, but their beats suck. Their beats suck. That was a critique of Nas.
I was about to say that. Nas got that was his biggest chip on his shoulder.
And honestly,
pick beats.
There's things about Eminem all the way through his career that there was just stylings that he did that the fans probably liked, like the obligatory dance tracks. Where he has 2 steps in, 2 steps back. I'm not here for. Sorry, guys. I get it, and I know why people like it.
Yeah, it's not for you.
Don't like it.
Right.
Some of that, though, that like we were talking about last week, that animated nasally voice thing.
I get it. It's not for me.
And when it's in contrast with like him and Dre, and there's a way to balance it out, I think it's more digestible for me throughout the entirety of a song. But
it's more of an artistry with them two together. But when he does it himself, it's just
but even like the Eminem versus Marshall record, the Guilty Conscious too. Like we talked about, we liked that. It was like dope to see that. So there's things about the album that I liked, there's things that you guys liked, and then there was things we didn't like. But that doesn't mean it's not a dope concept. I think the concept is dope.
Yeah.
I agree. And now I will listen to it back to front. Thank you for the tips.
And you were probably the biggest Eminem fan on the couch.
But yeah, according to
to
the comments, it didn't sound like it.
It's
but
it's the comments.
But also, what should we expect from the stands? Because these are literally the stands.
Also, you're not gonna make them happy unless it's like front to back,
the
back
stands,
to front,
the barbs, the fandom. You know what I mean? Just
the OVO owls,
the OVO hoes.
We call fans
you said hoes?
I don't know what's their name.
You said hoes?
The OVO hoes. yeah. Nobody's ever said that before? That's the fan base, the OVO hoes?
Kendrick said that.
Oh.
No one ever called them OVO hoes.
Oh, my bad. The Kung Fu Kennies. I don't know. What did they call?
I have no idea, actually.
Actually, I don't know what Kendrick. I don't know what they are. Dots.
The dots?
The dots.
Yeah, no, it doesn't.
The dots?
None of that sounds cool.
Yeah, it does.
No.
Okay.
The Glazers?
The what?
The Sack Riders? I don't know what, because they always call anybody like Kendrick Lamar.
Anybody
like, you're just glazing. Oh man, so look, new music out. I'm really liking this JT album. I've been really liking JT since that record period, that first City Girls project.
Yeah.
I I like it. Look, if you want some real ratchet rap from the mud telling
Go
stories
right
about
there.
that, then JT gonna give it to you.
Nah, I sat with this project and like I sat with this whole experience, right? So like I think what's today? Monday, like Saturday, I was out at brunch by myself, put my AirPods
Yeah,
on.
that sounds.
Yeah, okay, don't do that. Dang, I can't be vulnerable with y'all. So I'm like, yo, let me put the documentary on. So I watched the documentary and like it takes us through her whole process of like making the album, going through the whole City Girls and like that process and then breaking up and not having people understand why they broke up. And she just like really broke down herself as an artist, learning from the City Girls and learning from that experience and learning from the mistakes and learning from like what she could have done better and bringing it over to her solo project and making herself an artist. Like I watched her like really create these songs. Like she was hard on herself. She was hard on the producers. And while touching like these little small cities and doing clubs and this, that, and the third and just making her presence
Doing
felt.
the work.
If you sit with that album, it's short and sweet. It's about 13, 14 songs, I believe. And you can, if you watch the documentary, you can see the results in the album.
I'd be curious to check out the documentary.
Yeah,
I
it's
just
like 20,
open
yeah, it's like
open
25
the album
minutes.
like on some kind of more introspective shit before she gets back into all like the street rap, which is cool. I don't feel like I know much about JT the person. As part of the City Girls.
Yep.
When I hit play on an album, I'm expecting it's like ratchet street rap, as you said, but I love the intro. We get a little bit into her mind, all the trauma she said she's still dealing with before we get back into like what we know her for.
Well,
so
yeah,
I respect the work ethic.
When you watch that documentary, the album is gonna make so much sense.
All right, I'm gonna check
and
it
I feel like that album is like very heavily Jeezy influenced.
She got Jeezy on that remix.
She got
I love
Jeezy on
that,
the remix. My favorite record is Star of the Show. I think it's like the last one before the remix. Swerving is dope. I think another one is called Bricks.
Bricks.
Yeah, Bricks.
That's my shit.
That's like the second one on there. So I'm really, really like now I'm a JT stan. Like I fuck with her.
So you jumping in the comments if we disrespect?
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
All day.
I like it.
All day.
Going hard for JT. Also, over the weekend, shout out to my man Denzel Curry. He dropped King of the Mischievous South Volume 2, which was a tape he put out like 12 years ago. Which, is heavily influenced by Southern rap and all the things that influenced him. And he kind of brought that forward with some of the features that he had. Also, too, I'm interested to see, people may have missed, Denzel Curry, and remember the Ghostface Perp and all of those artists that were coming out of the South. And we here in New York, we had the ASAP Mob and it was Rocky. All of that had issues and kind of like they was beefing for a while. You know what I mean? And now to have ASAP Ferg and Rocky on the project, many years later, because they kind of created an aesthetic and a movement between like that I forget what they were called, but it was Ghostface Perp, Denzel Curry, and they had a crew out of the South, and then you had the ASAP Mob. And so over the that was like an underground movement at a time. And a lot of artists that are out now, because you had XXXTentacion around that time, back in the day, a lot of those cats. So it's good to see Denzel still putting on 2 Chainz on the album, Ski Master Slump God. So it's good to see that kind of underground real rap movement because while from the South, they're still very rap heavy.
Yeah, they rap
lyrics, getting into these raps.
I mean, Denzel's low-key been putting out some of the best albums in rap the past few years.
Yeah.
They just don't get a lot of mainstream coverage, but everything from like his beats to just the way he approaches music conceptually is actually really, really dope.
Yeah.
Love to see him keep winning.
Rich the Kid dropped a single. Blast put out a new album. Blast, bro. Fire.
That joint with 2 Chainz is stupid.
Bruh, the Anderson .Paak joint? That Blast project.
Another concept album.
Yes, because it was 4 different projects in one, right?
So I believe it's like, is it like 5 songs each split into 4 parts? And it's like we're following the story of a character named Birdie who's like dad dies and passes along his car chauffeur service. So as we were like following this like him driving theme, it's like he's moving through all these different life lessons, right? Like learning that like being in bad relationships, yourself as your own worst enemy, and also like enemy disguised as a friend. It's a very interesting concept. And then I love when we get to the end of the album, it's like he's learned his lessons. And so we're supposed to be talking about picking some songs today for our segment called The New, which we're terrible at doing. So my pick was actually going to be from the Blast album. The very last song is also fire because, listen, there's so much music that we are overwhelmed sometimes and like underwhelmed by the music simultaneously. I love when an artist has intention to be around for a long time, that they're building legacy. So to me, that last song closing out the album, it's called 10 Summers or Better. He's basically talking about not trying to take the fast lane, not trying to take shortcuts. Like, I want this for 10 summers or longer. I'm trying to be here forever. So that would be my pick for The New, a really dope album.
All right, Nadeska, let's pick the news then right now. What do you got, Lo? What is your
new
for the
artist
news?
out of Brooklyn? His name is Handsome Rel. He's got a new single called About My Money. This man has been trying and getting to it and finally got his feet planted on the ground. The single is just very energetic, very heavy. He produced it himself with his engineer as well. Shout out to Chameleonaire, but this is a good record. You know, New York City, Brooklyn. So Handsome Rel, About My Money.
I don't know if this song's even out. I just saw it on TDE's Instagram. But that Doshi record, man.
Oh, dude.
I saw that over there. I got to repost it at Old Man Ebro. Look, I'm a Doshi fan. Once again, another artist who can make multiple types of great songs.
Yeah.
R&B records, she can sing, she can spit, she makes dance records, she makes hip hop records.
Yep.
I'm for all of that fire shit. Doshi, Catfish is the name of the record. I don't even know if it's out yet. It's on the internet.
So you just leaked it?
No, I saw it on TDE, Top Dog, and then put it up.
Oh, okay. Shout out to Punch.
We got to shout out Childish Gambino. Anybody get to that album?
I didn't get to it yet, but I've heard a lot of good things. Shout out to my man Carl Cherry, my man Julian, and my man Sean Dickinson. They've been, highlighting that album in our group chat. So I'm gonna definitely sit with it this week.
And also, I guess Donald Glover, the Childish Gambino thing is over. This is it.
Makes sense.
So last hurrah.
So it's like the Eminem thing, like some Shady.
Yeah, Bando Stone in the New World is the album. Is that the new artist, Bando Stone?
I don't know. It goes with a movie, right? It's like also a soundtrack to like a movie of the same name. Because whenever Gambino does something, it has to be big. It has to be layers.
Oh yeah, it can't just be
artistic to
right.
it. But I mean, he's had this alter ego for a while. He just says he doesn't feel like it's fulfilling anymore. There's no need to like keep pushing, which I respect. He's still gonna give us some dope music, I'm sure.
But we don't know will he be Donald Glover?
Who knows?
Yeah,
will he be Bando Stone?
I guess Bando Stone is the new character.
Let's not jump ahead. Childish.
Yeah,
I can't call. Can I call you that?
Yeah, can we?
What do we even say?
Bando.
Donald? Don?
Glover?
Mr. Glover?
Mr. Glover.
Mr. Glover.
Mr. Glover.
I like that.
And then Big Sean got a new single, Yes. Got a new freestyle, Fire. Had a lot of people talking about him getting that Kanye, and then there was speculation he got at Kendrick, but I didn't really think that was
Apparently that was for another Gemini, according to DJ Head. Yeah. Which Gemini, we don't know. Kanye? Gemini, right?
I mean, he clarified it wasn't at Kanye because Kanye's done so much for him.
Well, he said Kanye didn't leak the album. He said he doesn't think he was behind the leak.
All right.
Here we go.
Here's my theory. All right? He hops on IG Live the day before.
Before
the album leak.
Okay.
He previews the single, Yes. Because I was on his IG Live when he was doing it.
Okay.
So I'm like, okay, he's playing some records. I'm like, oh shit, this record, Yes, is fucking fire. Then the next day, a Kanye stan leaked not in its entirety, but leaked a big bulk of the album.
Okay.
Right? And some of those records are fucking fire.
Okay.
Like, Nas is on there. The Dream is on there.
And you're sure that stuff is gonna be?
I don't know, but it was a high quality leak. Like if you heard the body of work that I had, like when the leak came out, you would think that's.
So he already answered my stupid question, because I was going to say, I understand for an artist, it must be very frustrating and disheartening when you've worked so long on a project, you want to have a thoughtful rollout and someone they leak the project and they screw all of that up. But how many people actually listen to the leak? Because I do not have the time or the energy to go looking for a leak. I even hate when I have to listen to album previews for work and like the track stops and I have to get up and go back to the computer and hit play. Man, I want to listen to it on a DSP where it's easy to. Like, how many people are listening to album leaks?
Well, I downloaded it and I uploaded it to my phone. So it was like an album on my phone.
So are you confessing to a crime here, son?
No, I'm just saying, like, there was a leak out. He knows that there was a leak out.
You think a lot of fans are going to go hit the leak and then it takes away from streaming? Or is that just like you because that's who you are?
No, it's a two-part question. So it's because I've done that type of thing like during the blog era, like we would get leaks and we would like have to download it, upload it, this and the third. So like that's natural for me. So like something like yo, here's the Big Sean shit. I'm like, all right, let me just take a listen. I'm like, oh shit, this sounds good. Like it sounds like a high quality, high produced. You could tell like there was like verses that were left out, or there was like a little bit.
So it was unfinished.
Yeah, it was unfinished. Like when I listened to the whole thing, I'm like, oh, this is not the real thing.
So that's the next part of your statement, which is people will now, if they're like Low and they heard it and they're like, ooh, this is fire, but it's not done. Now, when the album drops, I'm gonna go back
to listen to the real
because I want to hear what you did, the finish. So there is potential. Was that where you were going?
Yes.
Potentially the strategy of the leak.
That's what I'm saying, because when that happened, the leak happened, and then he announced like his collaboration with The Alchemist and had a video out.
Ooh.
Right? So then the next day we get the album title, the video trailer, the single. Yes.
So he had a nice little rollout. That's a nice little rollout.
That's what I'm saying. So it's like, and like he tweeted, he was like, yo, let me give y'all this shit before they leak everything. Then we get the Alchemist clip.
Okay. See, now, going back a few episodes and a few weeks here on this program, when we were talking about Big Sean in relation to what was transpiring with Kendrick and Drake back then, there was a lot, I think, to be said about Big Sean. People were like, no, because he had put out a single where he said some...
Oh, he put out that freestyle in the house.
And he was walking around the house.
He kind of acknowledged the whole...
Acknowledged some things, but I think it was you were suggesting he should stay away from this. Yeah, at the time. Yeah. Which makes me think now, when you're an artist and you've been away as long as Big Sean has been, and you done, got married and had kids and your life has changed, getting back in the saddle, especially in hip hop, it's hard in all genres to figure out your entry point. Right. Of like, how am I gonna activate?
How am I gonna insert myself into the conversation?
Well, yeah, because not even into the convo, but to activate your fan base, to go out and find them because they've been dormant, right? They've moved on to listen to other artists. They've gone on with their life, whatever. They're not just sitting around with bated breath, unless you're, Beyonce's a whole other stratosphere when you're, talking about that.
Like, Drake is like,
Right, Sade fans are gonna show up regardless, you know what I'm saying? Like,
you always reference Sade.
Well, because she's known to go away for a long time, and it would be 7 years a clip.
Yeah.
That's like Drake's dream collab, isn't it? He still hasn't gotten the Sade collab, by the way.
Well, he got a tattoo, so he's good. But, and he got to hang out backstage and flirt, so he's done more than most of us have. You know what I'm saying? He's great. But my point is I think this is a great rollout for Big Sean.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, I think this is, if your strategy and your theory is correct.
It's like, just because like I watch rollouts, I watch marketing plans, like I've been a part of things where it's like, yo, leak this.
Yeah.
And to test is like, oh, we're gonna see if they like this. But it's gonna come from you because we know what you do. You leak records. So it's like, all right, yo, just throw that out there. And they'll gauge the conversation. They'll be like, oh yeah, okay, we're gonna run with this.
Got it.
Yeah,
but I don't know if that's what this is, but I've been familiar with this.
You've
pattern.
seen this.
You've
seen this play.
I've seen this
pattern but to our viewers, I would be very curious just in general. For artists that you really love, if their albums leak a couple weeks in advance, are you listening to the album? Are you waiting for it to really come out on DSPs? Does it matter if it's like an artist that you really love or a regular artist? I'm just curious what the situation is with the leaks. For me, I find it inconvenient, but I could also...
That also could just be like, me, I'm like, just let me know when you're ready for me to listen.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, let me know when, now? All right, cool.
To your point though about like an artist who hasn't been around, it's kind of like you're eager and you're excited. So it's like, oh, I want to hear like what this shit is. And it sounded really, 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 really good. So like, to your point, like when we get the actual product, I'm gonna have high expectations. If that's what this is gonna be when the actual, and it comes out with August
9th.
Yeah, August 9th.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Cardi B, she's been getting angry at Joe Budden. She's been getting angry at people criticizing she's taking too long with the album. She got a new verse with Rob 49. Shout out to Rob 49 on to come up out here getting some great collabs and looks. But with regard to Cardi B, who you mad at, man? People want your music, fam. Like, what do we... Why would you... Now, I get why you got an attitude with Joe, because he was bigging you up, but then said you was just a singles artist, so I get that. Yeah. But I also think Cardi yells at people she loves.
Don't we all?
I don't know what everyone does. We're just talking about Cardi. I don't yell at people I love. I try not to. But Cardi loves her fans.
That's
I
it.
think Cardi actually, Joe Budden, I've seen them hanging out together throughout the years.
Yeah.
Like, her and Offset argue all the time. Like, there's a pattern here of, because if Cardi don't fuck with you, she's not fucking with you. She's only yelling at you if she cares about your opinion and she loves you. So I say all that to say, Cardi, man, we just want the next album. So now the talk is she's confirmed that there's another album this year.
Hasn't it been confirmed? I thought
She
we
said
confirmed
she
this.
wasn't, then she said she was, then she said she wasn't, then she said she was, then the label said, we gonna drop it, then she's like, nah, y'all ain't gonna drop it. Then she said, well, I'm gonna drop it. And then Joe says, don't drop it. The fans are like, drop it. And she's just like, drop it.
Well, I'm gonna just say what I said a minute ago. Let me know when I'm supposed to go listen. You know what I'm saying? Just tell me when to press play. That's it. You know what I mean? Like, what we doing?
Would a leak take the pressure off of her?
Oh,
Is this the solution here?
She could do more yelling on that with that one. That'd be a lot of yelling. If her shit leaked.
I firmly believe since Beyonce broke the internet with Lemonade, right?
Yeah.
And which, you know, at the time it was a huge deal in so many ways. But if you in your mind can go back and your memory serves you correctly, Beyonce was in a transitional period in many ways,
What
right?
was before Lemonade was Beyonce? It was the self-title?
I'd have to look.
I think so. I'll check.
I just remember though that musically she was, you know, in transition, trying to make the next play. You know,
Right.
Also that was after the elevator incident, so we were seeing more of her personal life. Like it was things.
It was playing out.
Things were changing for
out in real
Beyonce.
time.
Things were changing for Beyonce.
Yeah.
And so boom, Lemonade.
Mm-hmm.
Bro, I mean, it was
It was
everything.
It was an HBO special.
Right, but I'm just saying, it was a full album, full videos, full everything, a new way of rolling things out, like boom. And it fell out the sky.
It did.
That
remember
was,
where
no,
I
that
was
was
that day that dropped.
That was a surprise album too?
I don't know if it was a surprise, like we knew an album was coming, but I'm not sure we knew the day.
It was a surprise. And yes, so the album 4 came out in 2011. Beyonce, the self-titled, 2013.
That was a
and then
surprise.
Lemonade was 2016.
The self-title was a surprise.
Got it. Okay, maybe I'm confusing.
Yeah,
But
self-title.
regardless of what I'm saying
yeah.
is I know when an artist, going back to what we were talking about with Big Sean and the leak, and you bringing up, hey, maybe Cardi's the leak. When an artist that can galvanize, you know, mass amounts of people, and they're second guessing, and you're going through transitions, and you're a huge name, right?
Yeah.
It's tough to do long rollouts because people start to pick it apart. Oh, he's gonna do this. I hope he doesn't do that. I hope she doesn't do this. Boom. I think it would be a great idea if they don't give a date for the Cardi B
And
album.
just drop it.
It just drops.
With that,
I'm not mad at that.
No single,
Yeah.
no official setup, and all this other.
she doesn't need all of that.
Boom.
We've had enough singles. Her
just-
star is huge. Let's just get
like
the album. You're right.
To your point, just tell me when to press
Let it
play.
loose.
Just let it fly,
Yeah.
and then figure out. Because I do think that when you're an artist as big as Cardi B, do you need to warm the audience up with a single?
No.
Like the beautiful thing about this is she's 7 years removed from Invasion of Privacy. She's had so much good and bad happen in her career, in her life. There's a bulk of shit that she can really get to on this project, from, you know, so-called beefs with other female rappers, addressing her issues with her husband,
Being a mother.
Being scared to approach the sophomore slump situation, or whatever the case is. Like, there's a lot of things she can approach, and then still having those bangers, still having those collabs, still, you know, becoming a better and newer artist. There's so many things that she can do.
And I think the toughest thing for an artist like Cardi B, who has had literally Latin hits, hip-hop hits,
R&B
pop
hits.
hits, R&B hits, is what does the album sound like?
Maybe she's just waiting for the Rihanna vocals to come in. Maybe just one more song she's waiting to close, and then she'll drop that out of the sky.
You ever heard the album?
You know what I mean?
Nadeska's got some inside.
No.
I thought I had the inside shit.
She said, no.
They were don't try to start any problems. I'm just saying. I'm just speculating on what it could be.
Yeah, it could. I don't think it's that. I think it's sophomore jinx.
Yeah.
living up to
It's
expectations.
a lot of overthinking at this point, understandably.
Other opportunities that have been making her a lot of money, pulling her away from actually focusing on putting an album together.
Yeah.
2 children, recovering from that, getting your family in order. All the things that can make it hard to actually go and put your all into recording.
But with all that said, there are a lot of things to address and talk about.
Right. So I think it is complicated. So just drop it. Matter of fact, record like 30 joints. Drop different styles. Drop multiple projects. There's no reason it has to be one, right? Like, what's that? Why can't she drop a hip hop project, a pop project, and a Latin project, and it's 3 different projects?
I wouldn't be mad at the Gangsta Girls with drama.
Yo, a Cardi B Gangsta Grills with drama would be fire.
So y'all just got the whole rollout plan. All right, so she just got to pick
Let's
a
see what
date
she
now.
does. We've offered tons of ideas.
This is our consulting fee, right?
Listen, just deliver the music. That's all we need.
Let Ebro know when to hit play.
Yeah. Yo, do an interview with Nadeska, like everybody else. Rihanna, Usher, how many? You got everybody. You do all the interviews.
Oh, thanks for the love. I wasn't expecting that today.
Oh, cool.
Appreciate you, bro.
Right, it's good.
Some real journalism is right here.
Right.
Thanks.
And for Nadeska and Law, I'm Ebro, and that's been the Rap Life Review. Thanks for tuning in. See y'all next week.
What's good? Nadeska here. If you made it through that entire episode of the Rap Life Review, that means you're really a fan. Hit that like button so we know it's real. Subscribe if you never want to miss an episode. And of course, if you really have something to say, drop a comment and we'll hit you back on next week's episode.